Hi everyone, welcome to this Value Case product release. Today we are introducing conditional logic in our forms. We also have a new table question format for the forms as well. They have been one of the most used blocks in the last couple of months. That's why we are upgrading them now significantly. And then also I will show you a few new layout options for the Accordion block. There are a few other couple things. You will find them in the product newsletter, in the changelog, as well as on our website as always. Now let me just dive right in and show you the new updates. All right, let me start with our new conditional logic in the forms. This has been a huge request that you can show a question dependent on an answer in another question. And we are adding this as a huge upgrade today. So I have a standard form here where I ask for the name of my customer. I will ask them if they want to use SSO and they can say yes or no. And then I have the SSO provider. Of course, I only want to show the SSO provider if this here is yes. Now before, this wasn't possible. However, you can do this now with conditional logic. And let me just edit this question here and go into our new editing experience. We had to develop this because the form options just got way too many and we didn't want to have the super cramped pop-up. So we really care about the product experience and want to make sure that this editing experience still feels kind of light and you have a good overview. And as we are adding questions like the table question format, there's just a lot more complexity coming. So that's why we have this new experience, and you might see this coming in for a couple of other blocks over time while we're adding features. For this question, I have Google and Microsoft as options, but I don't want to actually go over that now. I can, of course, as before, add a description. I can add media to this question. I can make it required. And there's now this fourth conditional logic option. Let me click on add, and this is very simple. So now this just asks me for the question I want to base this on. So will you use SSO? And if that is yes, and I have, by the way, other options here, dependent also on the question type, you select as a basis. So if this is yes, I want to show this question. When I update this question, you will see like a familiar thing here in the sidebar. Like our content automation, we show here that this question is now controlled by conditional logic. And also you will see a tiny icon coming up in the template here on the right. I can't really see the effect of this in the template. I always have to go to a space to really see it because you can configure so much logic and we can't really hide it in the template because then you would lose the context of configuration. So to really preview it and you really see it, you need to create a space from this template. And this is what I want to do next to show you the effect of this new conditional logic. I'm in a space and you can already see that the form looks a bit different. I now only see two questions because the second question has not been filled yet. So I can just put in my name. And then I can also click here and select an option. If I select no, nothing will happen. I can complete the form and just send it out. However, if I select yes, this will just save and then the new question will pop up and ask me which service provider will I use. And I can select Microsoft here and then complete my form. So this is how the conditional logic works. Of course, it can be a lot more complicated, right? You can build whole trees and you can move the questions wherever you want them in the form. It's really, really flexible. But this is the basics of it, and you can discover the rest either in the Help Center or when you set up these questions yourself. Let me go to the second feature, which is our new table question format in forms. So back in the template, just scrolling down to the second block here. Now, you already see this new question type here. Many of you wanted to collect tabular data. You might use a Google Sheet for that today or some other form provider that you need to use for this type of data. However, we now added this natively to Value Case. You can basically freely define table questions and then let your user fill this out. So let me show you how that works. I will just add another one and can click on table here. And this again brings up our new format and I can put in just table as the question format, right? And then you see first the columns. So a table can have multiple columns. We don't really limit what you can do here and it will just scroll horizontally if you add too many. But yeah, typically it would be 3 to 5 columns, I guess, to collect data. So I can say your name and then I can say, where do you live? This is great, for example, if you work with building providers and you need to collect like contact information for every building, or if you have users you want to collect and just have their names and their email addresses and so on, and specific information and just have it in one neat format, then this table format will work great for you. And we also added validation to it, so it's not only text, you can also have date fields. This will add actually a date picker, you have email and URLs as well, and we make sure that everything works there. And then you can define how many rows you want to have minimum or maximum. This is also important because you might only have sold like 5 licenses and you want to basically just ask for a maximum of 5 users, or you want to have like a minimum of 15 contacts. Whatever it is, you can set that here and change this number. And then you can also change the row label. We just wanted to make it really clear for the end user how they can add another row. So you could just say add user, for example, and then you have a button there. We'll ignore everything that comes down here and just create this question. This is basically what I need. Now you see this table coming up, and I have name and I have where do you live. Of course, because I'm in a template, I can't fill it out and submit it. But in a space, I could just basically go through it, fill it out, and then when you download it, you get a neat CSV for you to work with. So this is our new table question format. I really hope this helps you collecting more complex data with our forms and even shutting off a few other alternative form providers that you might need to use today. And we are super curious what else you want to see for our forms. So just reach out if you have any questions. We are really making them better and better and better every month. Now, let me come to the third feature, which is an update to the Accordion block I just wanted to briefly show. So our Accordion block always allowed you to put in these items, right, that you can fold in and out. And I have 3 here. However, it was a bit unflexible when it came to media positioning. And this is something we changed now. So when you add media to your Accordion block items, you will find 3 options here now in the sidebar. And you can basically decide to put the media full screen. You can also put it on the right or on the left. And of course, in the actual preview, so in the actual mode for your customer, you won't see text placeholders or so, right? So if you want to do something like this, where you don't have text and you just have an image, you can do that now. In the preview, the text will just collapse. So I hope this helps you building a bit more flexible spaces and making them really work for your specific use cases. So that's it for today. These are the features I wanted to show you. And there are more. If you look in our product newsletter and the changelog, etc., you will find a couple more things as well. Really looking forward to your feedback. Let us know if you have any questions, and then see you soon. Bye-bye.
Still sending docs through threads like it's 99. That's right. That's right. I built a portal, now the workflow's fine. All fine. All fine. Click create space, type the name real smooth. Choose a template, AI helps you move. Tweak it once and you're good to go. One link sent, now they're in the flow. No logins. Task and forms all lined up neat. So neat. And I see what's done like I got a front seat.